Hello, and welcome back to We'll Run For. This is your host, Tom, and with me as always are Aaron.
Hello.
Michael.
Hello.
And Diana.
Hey, hey.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Now or earlier?
Well, right
in general, how's it going?
Right this moment, we're drinking like a 20% beer, so it's
going
real good.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, this is going to go downhill.
It's gonna
We're burning hot right
spiral.
now. Yeah.
We are drinking, what is this? This is
You got to stay in front of your mic.
I'm sorry. This is I was grabbing the bottle.
Dogfish Head. Worldwide Stout.
Yes, but it's the oak-aged vanilla.
Yes. And it's a couple of years old. It was from when I ran in the Delaware Marathon. Rehoboth Beach Marathon, sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
So we aged it, and now we're drinking it.
I think that was 2018.
Yeah.
Maybe. So it's at least 2 years old. So
All right.
Nice. We've had beer, but nothing that aggressive. We were doing our advent calendar. So we had a Brooklyn Winter Lager, and now we are drinking a Jovial from Trogs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll see how this goes.
it's going to go well.
Yeah.
It's going to go well. Also, I don't know if this is time for Festivus, or what is it? The airing of grievances.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of us. But I was so annoyed with all of you guys today while I was on my 3-mile run because it was freezing. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to run outside, which is a mistake anyway. So I had gloves on and a long sleeve. And I was running my intervals, and you guys were all in the chat, and I couldn't tell which alerts were for the chat and which alerts were for my intervals, and I was about to throw my phone. I was so irritated.
I'm glad we can help you out with your runs and in
I was
the
like,
enjoyment of
I'm going to quit the podcast. I hate all of you.
Oh, my God.
I was so crazy.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
That's great.
when we started our hike, we went for a hike up in North Jersey, and I was like, I don't know. It's been a really crappy week. I had like a headache for 2 days. Sinuses were jammed. Work sucks. And we started the hike, and I'm like, I dropped the squirrels at the car. Didn't even have it with me, and then I needed it. And I was like, it's just like, what the hell? Like,
I even said, like, we weren't even a mile. Like, I think we were like a half mile. He turned around and asked me where the squirrels was. And when I told him that I had handed it to him, and I guess somehow, I don't know what happened. But anyway, it was on the ground next to the car is where I found it. And I thought that he was going to quit like right then when I told him I didn't have it. And I was like, cool. And then he like turns around and like storms off. I'm like, all right, I guess he's cranky.
And it's done. Well, I think like, I don't know what it is about like the end of the year, but it's just like, I feel like everything goes crazy. I was just telling you guys before we started, like I was so crazy at work this week. I didn't like do anything for 3 days other than like log onto my computer at like 7 a.m. and then log off at 7 p.m. and then crankily get a beer. Like,
yeah,
it's been a joy. I'll tell you that.
It's been great to be around.
It's been great.
I think it's just the end of 2020 in general was never going to be great.
Yeah.
No, people at my job are just like, oh, should we work now? Is that like what we're going to do now? And I'm like,
my God.
No, why are we doing this now when we could have done it weeks ago?
Oh, my.
I'm thankfully off every Monday in December.
Yeah.
Not that you're going to hear this until end of December, but I had some time to burn. So it's like, at least I have my Mondays. It's like the only saving grace.
Use or lose time.
Yeah, Mondays is a good day. Tom's doing that, but with Fridays.
I'm doing those Fridays. And I'm still going to lose. I'm going to roll over the maximum. I'm taking off the last 2 full weeks in December. And I'm going to lose about 30 hours.
Yeah, I think we're both off starting the 18th.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
That's awesome.
I usually work between Christmas and New Year's because nobody's there. And I'm like, this is like a bonus.
Yeah, it's a great time to do that, actually.
It is. It's really nice.
Yeah. I mean, I own the company, so I guess I don't really get used or lose time. I just take when I want to take and don't take when I don't want to take. And since I don't really have anything
to do, nowhere to
I'm
go.
just not taking.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Probably take a couple days off towards the end of the year just to like get that
Take some
refresher.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I need a break is kind of where I am now.
That's
Tom was talking to his brother and he was taking off. What was he taking off? Like Tuesdays?
Like random Tuesdays. I'm like, hey, do you want to take off like a Friday and go to like Top Golf or something? He's like, I'm taking off Tuesdays. And I'm like,
that's a weird day. Like then you go to work on Monday and then you
of all the days to take
like
off.
stretch out the weekend. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I could see like maybe taking hump day so that you work
Yeah.
2 days,
2
and then
days,
take
2
hump
days.
day.
Yeah, I agree with
And
that.
then
I feel like people are ready to work on Tuesday. Like Tuesday's when you're actually like getting stuff
productive.
done. Like,
Yeah. I agree. I normally take off. I normally have marathon weekend for the last 4 years. I've taken off like that the time around marathon weekend. So I usually don't take right before the holidays just because I'm going to take right after the new year. So I don't know. I'm definitely got to take something off at some point because I haven't had anything off this year at all because there was just never any reason to. So I feel like the average American who doesn't use their vacation time this year.
Yeah, I generally use mine, but obviously this year there was no reason to. And I was still using time from last year this year. So thankful. I'm very fortunate in that way. So
yeah, but that's fun. We actually, since we're talking about downtime, we're going to take some podcast downtime, guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Well, so
I need a break.
Yeah.
You people are exhausting.
No, so we're recording this a little early so that we can have about a month off. We're going to release this on December 21st. So, you know, you're hearing this today, December 21st.
It is not December 21st right now.
But you will be hearing this on December 21st. And then we're going to take an extra week off. So instead of returning on the 4th of January, we will return on the 11th of January for our New Year's special where we'll chat about our goals for 2021.
Yeah. So make sure you send us your goals, your 2021 goals and plans and stuff like that.
Yeah. We'll post and
we're going to try and be positive.
Yeah.
By then.
Absolutely.
Are you saying
I'll
we're
feel
negative
better.
right now?
Yeah. A lot of hope for 2021, especially running related.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like people think some magic thing is going to happen at
I know.
midnight
I know.
on New Year's
Yeah.
Eve.
No, that's not the case.
And it's not the case. Like
Yeah.
it's just going to continue to be crazy.
It's just going to be a slow grind.
I think that there's
to
a
the
little bit,
finish
at
line.
least the finish line is getting closer. I feel
Yeah.
like with the vaccinations and everything. And we don't want to get too heavy into that just because we've mostly shied away from that this year. But I think that there is some hope. I think springtime is going to be up in the air just because of how long it's going to take for everyone to get it widespread. But I saw New York City marathon or half marathon, and actually we were listening to another podcast today, Running on Tap.
Oh, yeah,
mention
Running
it
on Tap,
too.
yeah.
That they already canceled. I hear Cherry Blossom said that they were going to make their decision before the end of this year. So I think
They're
bigger
pretty early
bigger
in the year,
races.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, March, April. I feel like bigger races are making their decisions as soon as possible. And as a runner, I appreciate that. At least you kind of know up front, like, no, this isn't happening.
I'm hopeful for the bigger races to be okay in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm registering the first like real half marathon I can sign up for. I'm doing it. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
like I just need it. I don't care like where it is or what we're gonna do. Like I need to do one.
Yeah, we're signed up for Shamrock, and they're gonna call it. I think December 15th. They're gonna make the call.
Okay.
Whether or not
Yeah.
it happens in person. But I mean, that's mid-March, so that's
Pretty early.
that's
Yeah.
really early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you start looking at like May, June,
Yeah.
you get a much better likelihood. But that's a big event with a big tent and stuff like that. I think you'll see the mid-size races maybe like May, June. And then hopefully by fall we get lucky and get some bigger stuff again. But I mean, we'll be okay because we do a lot of the smaller trail races. So I'm hoping those will be back in the spring and we can set some goals for those. But
No, I need like thousands and thousands of people, a DJ, a finisher medal.
I would like all those
I just
things
need it
too,
all.
though.
I want it. I want it all.
I want to do a Disney race again.
I would like I like both sides of the coin because I definitely enjoy the little trail stuff, but I miss the big race atmosphere. I know Michael's not as big into that, but I do miss the big race atmosphere. The last, besides Disney, Baltimore half with Tom, where you have all the people out there cheering, you have the dogs to pet, you have the people with beer, it's just, I miss that finish line.
I did love Shamrock.
And all that.
Shamrock I thought was fantastic. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
That's
true. I guess it depends on who he's with. He was with us, guys. That's why he loved it.
Memories.
But he technically didn't really run with us. He
It's
just
true.
hung out with us. So that saved him, I think.
I would definitely run it fast again.
Oh, gosh.
That was a fun race. That was a fun fast race.
Yeah.
It's pretty flat. Early in the year, can gun it.
Yeah, and then you could bring us beer at mile 10.
Yeah, exactly.
After you've finished, showered, gone to the liquor store, driven back to mile 10, and then parked.
Oh gosh.
That was a great race. I had fun.
That was fun. That was really fun.
That was a blast.
It was also extremely loud.
Oh my God, it was. Well, I was thinking of a tent, but yeah, it was extreme. I'm sure it was
Tom's
extremely
talking
loud.
about Brittany
I know what
Diana.
he's talking about. Yeah,
That's exactly what
I
I'm
know what
talking
he's
about.
talking about. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, y'all. So I guess for the last time in 2020, what are we running for?
For me, I think I need to get out and get some quiet trail miles again. I'm really missing them. And so I don't know. I just need a mental break here at the end of the year. So
Quiet, do you mean not with Aaron?
Ooh.
I don't know, maybe actually,
Shots
which is
fired.
weird. I mean, we do almost all our runs together, so I really
that's what
enjoy
I was
them.
saying.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just a product of the fact that I moved. I don't have as many friends around here,
and also
I
with
haven't had it
everything
with
else.
with the not being able to do big run groups for a while, and then now it's dark. So the only way I can basically run and feel safe in the area that we are in is if I have somebody with me, and so generally now he's just running almost all of my miles.
That's fair.
No, but I enjoy those. I don't know. I think I might need one of those long trail runs out in the pines just to clear my head of all the work and end of year
and the errand.
No, just definitely not that. Just the work and just take maybe on a Monday or something. Just go do 20 or something for fun of it and just clear my head because that's what normal people do.
Yeah, that's completely normal. Well, for me, you guys all basically stole my thunder with the conversation in the beginning, but I am running for the end of the year work rush.
Ooh.
It seems within the next 2 weeks, everyone is squeezing every action item or meeting or deadline into the next 14 days because then basically everyone disappears for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people who had stuff to do all year long, all of a sudden, have, I guess a sense of urgency that they didn't have until now.
Yeah.
So now everything needs to get done.
Mm.
And that's what I'm running for. But that's fun.
I am running. We're not really running a lot, but last week I gained pie weight. A bunch of pie weight that my pants almost didn't fit. So now I've got to keep running at least something because the pie's not going away and I'm going to end up eating all the holiday eats and drinks along the way. So now I've got to keep running a little bit, at least enough to keep the holiday pounds down a little bit. So I'm running to not gain 20 pounds during the holiday season.
Amen.
Pro tip, I've been wearing mesh shorts since March 15th. And they have an elastic waist.
Oh man!
So I said leggings for the rest of the year is what I'm in. I'm no button pants for the rest of the year.
No, it's a trap. Well, I'm ready for something fun. I did a girls' night on Friday, and we got a amaretto raspberry cake from Sugar Bakers, and we made cranberry orange mimosas. So I had all that deliciousness. So that's what I'm running for. And I did pretty good. Even though I missed 3 days at the gym this week, I did do the elliptical yesterday, and I went and ran a 5K this morning, and my time was not great, but it wasn't terrible. So I'll take it.
There you go.
That's what everyone always wants to hear.
I love it.
It wasn't like
it's not great, not terrible.
I felt pretty good at the end. I probably could have gone longer, but then I was like, no, because I was already starting to feel kind of cranky, and you guys were blowing up my phone, so I was done.
Oh man!
But physically, I felt good at the end. I was like, oh, I could have gone a couple more, just didn't.
It's real easy to quit right now.
Yeah.
It's extremely easy to cut something short.
Well, yeah, and everything that we were going to do is canceled.
I know.
So our holiday hustle that we were going to do next weekend, that went virtual. And then our Surf and Santa went virtual. So we're still going to try and run those miles. And then Celtic Solstice, that was supposed to be virtual. And that's a 5-miler I do every year. So we just signed up to do that virtually. The premium's really good. That race is infamous for having really good, really nice premiums.
Oh, cool.
And they're really cool. And they're usually, they've got a Celtic type symbol on the back.
Mhm.
But this year, it's really cute. It's like a reindeer with Celtic knots all around it, but the reindeer looks like it's stomping on a COVID virus.
Oh, that's that's so funny. That's adorable.
So I was like, well, I have to get it this year. So we're going to do that virtually at some point. But yeah, all our races just went virtual. That's kind of what we had on the docket and to kind of keep us motivated. But I don't know, virtual races, I think we've talked about it before, don't really motivate me because I can just not do them.
Yeah, phone it in. I get that. I'm back and forth on that, whether they work for me or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I am going to sign up. J&A Racing has a winter solstice distance challenge. It's basically over the 89 days from the shortest day of the year to the longest day of the year. So winter solstice to the equinox, I guess.
Oh, okay. Couple months, 3 months.
Yeah, and you pick your distance, and the longest distance is 489 miles.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to sign up for that because it's relatively cheap. There's a medal and there's a nice premium, and that's just going to get me through January, February, and into March.
Yeah,
but that's the only reason I would do it. So I have a reason to log miles pretty frequently.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do in December, I'm not doing any. But January, once we start working back into training again and looking forward to some bigger events mid-year, I think we're going to start doing virtuals the first 2 or 3 months of the year, just to kind of have something to shoot for those months in case there's no trail races going on or anything. And also, it's all going to depend on the weather that time of year and everything else. So there's always that kind of thing too. So, the weather just sucks in January, February. It could be real terrible, or it could be, you can get decent weather in February. I mean, I got fingers crossed for that.
I don't know. I typically go inside during those months. I do a lot of sometimes 6, 7, 8 miles on a treadmill because I'd rather do that than be cold.
I love the treadmill. Okay, I shouldn't say I love the treadmill. I don't mind the treadmill. I have done even up to 18 miles on a treadmill once.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't mind the treadmill. It's just that I don't own one anymore. And so the option is the gym with a mask. So I don't really know what I'm going to do this winter. Normally I hibernate a little bit on the treadmill, but this year I can't. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Road running kind of sucks in the winter, I admit. I feel like the trails aren't as bad just because the trees kind of cut the wind. So
if it wasn't all of a sudden I feel like the last 3 years it's just always windy during the winter.
Yeah,
it was windy today.
So windy today.
I would have been okay running today, but the wind was just so cold. Usually I don't have to have something on my ears, and today I actually had one of those little band things on my ears because it was so cold.
Yeah, we did a couple. We got up to a couple of the peaks like in North Jersey. They're not very high. They're like 1,100, 1,200 feet, whatever. But they're completely exposed, and you're just standing there. And it was like 20-mile-an-hour wind and like 35 degrees, and it's like, whoa, jeez.
Yeah, it was raw.
it was cooking pretty good out there. But yeah, we but then once you drop down into the trees, you don't even really feel it. You don't feel that wind, so it really breaks it up quite a bit. So I do like running in the woods in the wintertime a lot because it just gets rid of that wind issue. And the roads, you just really get. We even got hit with it the other night running on the roads just a little bit, and we were like, we're kind of over it. We're just going to do 5.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
So now we do the community news, which community segment we have is the Inside the Runner Studio. We'll have a few of them coming up in our time off. We'll probably insert some of them into that week. If you want to be featured on one of the mini episodes, please send us a message on Facebook or Instagram or email us at willrunforpodcast@gmail.com. For our regular community news, we have decided that we got so much feedback from you guys from 2020 on your best moments and memories that we're going to focus on that at the end of the segment coming up. So hang on tight because that's coming up next.
I was like, you guys did way more than I did this year. Like, I mean, I did this. I mean, we did this podcast, but like... The community was out there more than I was, I feel like.
Yeah, we got a ton of feedback. I'm excited to go through that when we get there to the end.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good transition into our main topic, which as we look back on 2020, what a peach of a year this has been. We like to think about what our favorite memories or moments are, and maybe even if they aren't so good. What really just sticks out when we think back on it? I know we all kind of want to forget this year even happened, but that is our main topic. What are our favorite memories from this year?
So this is like, I've got some things that we're going to talk about when we get to the rest of the group and sharing. But when I look back at 2020, the first thing that popped into my head was one of the first things we did in 2020 before the world collapsed, which was the donut run.
Oh, yeah.
That we did in January. So it was like a New Year's resolution. Tom, what was it? It was a mile run.
It was a donut mile.
It was a donut mile.
Oh, my
God. And I will never forget it for the rest of my life. I thought I was going to die.
Is that the picture of you where like it's kind of zoomed kind of far in, but you just have the like something in your mouth where you're like, yes. You look like so grumpy. Like you look like, so grumpy.
We're like, so a Charm City run in Annapolis was like, we're going to do a New Year's resolution donut run. And I was like, that's brilliant. I love it. Oh my God. It's only a mile. This is fantastic. Let's all do that.
Was it fantastic?
It was not fantastic, but it was memorable.
So are you putting this under your best or your worst moment?
Both. I think it's both because I did love it. I don't know if I'd do it again. I would go watch it every year. I would go watch it every year because everyone starts off and they're so excited about eating donuts. And then the donuts that they bought were like these thick cake donuts that were just so dry. Like you couldn't even get them down. So like they ran it in, 2 different waves. Like they did a male wave and then a female wave. And you did a quarter, you ate a donut and then a quarter mile and then another donut and then so forth and so on. Well, the guys are all pumped. They're all excited. They're in the little waiting area. And then they took the first bite of the donut and they all just panicked. Like you could see panic in their eyes that they didn't know what they were in for.
It was awful.
It was awful. I didn't even finish. So I think technically that's my first DNF. It was for a mile-long run.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
So that's pretty
great.
memorable. Like I couldn't even do it. I physically could not eat another donut.
Oh my gosh.
I will say though that I lined up at that start line and I looked at my competition and it's a lot of very in shape guys
Oh yeah.
with 0% body fat that do not eat this many donuts. And then I'm like, you know what? I might be able to compete here because
Oh, it was really funny.
I was trained up for donut runs.
Oh my
All
gosh.
like the super fit people, like it looked like their bodies were like rejecting the
Yeah.
donut.
Yeah.
Like their bodies were like,
Oh my god.
I've never had such sugar. What?
It was
What is
so bad.
happening?
Oh my gosh.
So
that's great.
that kicked off my year, and then I think it set the stage for the rest of the year.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But when I think of 2020, that's what I'll always remember is that ridiculous donut run.
Oh
Yeah,
my god. That's
never
amazing.
forget.
Well, my year started off with the Disney Marathon, and
As
that
did
was
mine.
fun. That was that was my last like group marathon or run trip, I guess, runcation.
No. Hallucination right
Well,
after that was.
Yeah, but nobody else ran but me. My point was
No, but there was
that-
a group of us together, I meant. Like
yes,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
just more meant like where you're doing meetups and you're doing like you have like
yeah,
20,
yeah.
30 people that
Oh,
you're
yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah.
the last like really big group race that we've done.
Mhm.
I was going to bring up hallucinations, but yeah, marathon weekend for me was that. It's the last big group run that we got to do. So that was, now when I think of 2020, I think of that. But I always think of marathon weekend because I love marathon weekend. It's one of my favorite weekends.
Yeah, it was fun, even though it was super hot. Actually, I enjoyed it because it was super hot. It was like,
I got the most character stops I've ever
Yeah.
gotten. We hit like 25
yeah,
character
something
stops.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm
Because there
really
was,
sad
like,
we didn't go down for
No
that.
lines for like people just didn't want to wait in the heat
Because it was so hot.
because it was
yeah.
so hot. So we got to Epcot and we got the princesses with no lines at all. Like literally walked up to Jasmine like, "Hey, what's going on, Jasmine?" Like no one was there.
Look at these sweaty, disgusting people with no clothes on.
That's true.
I love those photos because Michael's not wearing a shirt. Like Aaron's in a bra. Like I'm
It was
like, you guys look
so-
indecent with these princesses.
And we had the discussion like we can't take off our shirts because we're in Disney. Like we
And
have
then
to
it was
run through
like
the parks. It was
5 miles in, and it was like, no,
It
this
was
is not
so,
happening.
so hot, and I was like, I don't care what I look like. I don't care about anything. I cannot run with any amount of clothes on right now.
I think at one point I passed, was it Mike Rahman from Be Our Guest? And I was like, oh, I love the show. He was probably like, who is this naked dude
This
running?
naked man just screaming he loves me.
Who's this tattooed naked man running past me?
I bet that one was one of his favorite moments.
Yeah.
He is so fast, and he still runs like every day. He runs like 10 miles.
Oh, He runs
Because
like
a
I
half
follow him
marathon
on
a day,
social
yeah.
media.
He does like four grand a year. It's like
Yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy.
Good on him, but I can't do that many miles. But yeah,
No, he wakes up like every day and does 10 miles. Shout out to Mike at Beer Guest Podcast.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, really.
he puts in a ton of miles.
What else? What else is going on in 2020?
I guess one of my favorite moments was when we did the Run the Lakes challenge, where we mapped out a half marathon here in Columbia, running around the 4 major lakes, and got a group to come down and do it with us. And you guys crewed for us, and we had shirts and we had bibs, and that was just a fun experience. It was a good weekend.
It was a great weekend. It's so funny. I was actually just telling that story. I started a new job this year, which is kind of cool, but we were in a meeting and I started talking about the podcast, and I said, well, yeah. And then we had an in-person race that we did, and we had like listeners that we had never met show up to this run. And they were like people you know. And I was like, no, like people that we never met that like found us through the podcast. And like
great,
people could
yeah.
not believe it. Like people could not believe it.
Yeah.
No, it was great to meet Olan, and so glad she came down. Or
Yeah, that
up,
was so
technically
cool.
for her, I guess. We came down, she came up.
Yeah.
For me, in a similar vein, the first virtual we did was the Aravaipa virtual marathon. Aravaipa's Jamil Carey's run organization out in Arizona. They do like Black Canyon and Javelina 100, all those kind of things. Like he's pretty big in trail running, if you know it. He's done Barkley a bunch of times. But So that was like the first like real virtual thing we did was our Vipa virtual marathon. And it was back when there was no traffic on the roads because everybody was staying at home. This was like April. So Aaron just started running again. And we basically mapped out a course from outside the door to back to the door of 26.2 miles. And we ran it. And it was great. And that kind of inspired our summer 100K that turned into a 50K.
Which is on my best and worst list for my memories.
So our Vipa virtual marathon was great. I really enjoyed it. It was the first virtual. So there was no traffic, so we were able to do it. And as you know, there's no sidewalks here, so we had to run down roads. We actually ran down a bunch of the roads that we ended up running for the 100K thing. Not all of them, but some of them, obviously. And we did a dirt road that I know that cuts through two parts of South Jersey. And yes, we still have dirt roads in New Jersey here and there randomly. And it was great. I really enjoyed that first virtual marathon.
Well, I think also just the memory of, I mean, the roads around here are full of traffic. I mean, you can't run. We always, and we said it even when we were talking about the Run the Lakes back on that episode, that we were jealous of all your sidewalks because you come here and it's like maybe you'll be lucky that you don't get run over by a car. So it was weird because the roads were just empty. Like there's like no one on the road. So it was weird to be able to run down these roads that have almost no shoulders and not even worry about traffic.
Yeah. It got a little sketchy in one or two parts, and we were like, we could have planned this a little better. But regardless, it was still a great event that inspired another event that while it was tough, the summer 100K that was super hot, we I don't know, we ran 30 some miles in 90-degree heat, and it was a good time. And then we drank a bunch of beer with people afterwards.
I was going to say, that's on my best and worst list because one, it was the worst. I felt awful. Everything about that stunk from the very first step. We just never felt right. We were carrying too much weight, I think, in our vests.
Ooh, we were carrying a lot.
It was just a disaster of a run. But it was also one of my best memories because it was one of the first like actual events, quote unquote, that we did with friends after having been, doing the quarantine thing for so long. We had you guys come up, you guys crewed it. We had Frumpa with us. We got to go to dinner, eat Mexican. We got to drink beer at a brewery. We got to record a show together in one location. It was just a fun time. So it makes my worst and my best list.
Oh, love that.
Another one for me. I guess this year was just hopping from one virtual challenge to the next, just to pass the time. To be honest, and keep and keep moving.
Yeah.
But I did the Race Across Maryland virtual challenge, which went from the western end of Maryland to the eastern shore. It was just something to keep me going and put in my miles, and I'll call it fun. But it was just it is weird, these virtual challenges, like they started popping up more and more, and then you were like, well, this is really all we got, so we can't do them all. We don't want to do them all, but let's just pick some that are, that seem relevant and might have good swag and that kind of thing. So that was a good one. I would do that again. I'm hoping that I don't have to do that again, but I would do that again.
Yeah. Well, speaking of virtuals, one of my favorite virtuals that I did, and I did a lot because I did ones to support the local race director. I did ones for camaraderie where I did the PCT girls group. I've done a bunch of them, but one of my favorite ones, because it was a true challenge, was the Yeti virtual, and we did that with Donna. Where we ran at the same hours. So we were always running at the same time. She ran with down in Maryland and we were up here. But it was the Yeti virtual 24-hour challenge where you did 5 miles every 4 hours.
Oh my God.
So I don't know when we did that. Maybe May, June.
It was early in the year. It might have been
maybe May.
Yeah.
When we did that. And so we ran, I think we started at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And then ran every 4 hours after
we timed
that.
it with
5,
Donna,
9, whatever 4 hours from then is.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah.
1, 5. And our last leg was like late at night. So we had to like take a nap and force ourselves back out the door. But that was really fun.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
It was an interesting challenge because it wasn't something that I've ever thought about doing before. And then we ran one of the legs. Both Donna and I, we ran a little extra. Well, Michael too, but we ran a little extra to get us to the 50K.
Yeah, the 50K thing. Yeah.
To the 50K mark.
Yeah, and that was early on when they first did the Yeti virtual, which was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeti's done a bunch of them since then, but yeah, that was one of their first ones. So it was fun because you got to run not just a challenge, but it was the first race we did like with people or with someone, but not with them.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think this is the year of finding out what really motivates you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I was so like once the races started getting canceled in the spring, I was not motivated at all to do anything. And I was so lazy for so long and just used it as an excuse that I actually think this podcast helped me keep motivated. When I did my little girls' night on Friday night, I was like, I'm actually feeling super motivated. Like I'm ready to go out and do stuff. Like I don't need to be signed up for something to go out and run anymore.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, that's because you're on that podcast and now you have to talk about it. I was like, maybe that is why. Maybe that is like what's actually keeping me motivated because I don't know. I was like on the struggle bus for the longest time. And as an extreme extrovert, like this year has just been like really, really hard for me mentally. So I think I'm just figuring out like what'll get me out the door and just enjoying that time. Like I was this morning when I got up to run, I was like, oh God. And I almost talked myself out of it a few different times. When I finally got out there, I was just so happy I did it. So I think just figuring out what motivates you has been a big thing this year for me.
I agree.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing with my what I would guess would be my worst running experience / I don't know if it was worst, but one that was memorable that didn't go the way I thought was after Batona 55 in 2019, where I got sick and had a fever and all kinds of stuff and ended up almost dying in the woods.
Oh God!
Wow. There was that one.
Almost dying in the woods.
So I was supposed to run the Umstead 100. I was in that, and so I was putting in a lot of miles January, February, March, while Aaron was hurt. So I was doing a lot of solo miles. And to like ramp up for Umstead, I was like, you know what? I want redemption on the Batona, which is our local trail, which is 53 and change miles, and 55 if you go to parking lots, etc. But so I was like, I want redemption on this. So I drove down to the southern end, I believe, and was like, Aaron crewed me, and I was like, I'm just gonna run it today. So I got like, I don't know.
Yeah,
30s.
so we staged his car at the end.
Yeah.
And then
I started running from there. I don't remember how.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
I started at the south end. No, I just drove down and started running.
No, because you started north because you came from back. Like I ran. It was right after I just started coming back from injury, and I met you at Batstow.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's met you like 3 different places along the way.
I forgot. Yeah, I was thinking it was the opposite direction.
Yeah, and I stopped on that weird that major road.
Yeah, you dropped me off at
Ong's Hat.
Ong's Hat, yeah, which is the beginning.
And then I met you a couple places to help refuel you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so yeah. And when I got there, like I was like physically, I think I was okay. Like, as okay as you're going to be after like 35 miles or whatever. But mentally, I was like, I just don't care. You know, like I just like hit a point where I mentally broke about running, period. And I was like, I don't know if I enjoy doing all these miles alone.
Yeah.
You know, and because I had gotten so used to running with Erin that it was like, I don't know, I missed it.
Aww.
Aw, see, look. My comment earlier was irrelevant. He likes running with you.
But like, I mean, I still, you know, those solo adventures are fun, like especially through the Pinelands that I know so well.
Part of it too is that there's not an actual finish. Like while you're getting redemption in some way,
Yeah.
it's not. It's how I felt about like
not
the
a race.
first 50K virtual that we did. I didn't care about it. Like I could have most of the way through. I'm like, you know, I could just quit and it wouldn't really matter because there's nobody here to care.
Yeah, well, this was different. It wasn't like I just was mentally checked out when I got like 35 miles in, and I was like, I just don't.
Yeah.
Like I could keep going and I could finish, and it wouldn't have been like I would have finished. It wouldn't have been, you know, physically I was okay, you know, unless I got hurt or something like that, obviously. But I was like, I just don't, you know, and at that time, I think by the time I had run this, we were getting to the point where I was kind of sure Umstead was going to get canceled. So I think there was a lot of things that all kind of played into it. And just, I had done so many miles in February, March alone that I was just over running alone. You know, when you're doing 50 to 60 miles a week solo in the woods, it's like, you know, sometimes it's great, but after a while it's just like, that's like 12 hours a week or something like that, alone in the woods, you know.
He doesn't want to be lonely.
Yeah, like I don't mind, like I would love to do a long solo run here and there, but like that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Like you want to be able to choose, like you don't want every one of your runs to be like that. Like there are certain times where like Tom and I will go out and we just like, I'm just like, I just want to run by myself today. Yeah. But like, I want that to be kind of more on my own terms, not, oh God, I have to run by myself.
Yeah. And it happened because she was hurt. And, you know, so I think right now I would be up for doing the whole trail alone, you know, because we mostly run together now. And I think I'm physically able to do it now. It's just not enough daylight right now. so it's probably not going to happen. But, you know. And I also promised that it was down December is what we're calling it.
Mm-hmm. Down December.
Yeah, this morning or the other day, yesterday, I don't remember.
Oh, no, today when we were hiking.
It was like something about a 50K in December. I'm like, what? No, stop it. No, I think it was yesterday when you were saying you were going to sign up for the virtual. We were talking about beast pacing. We didn't end up doing it one of their December ones just because I didn't want to have to run any miles because I don't want to be forced to run miles this December. Like, I just want a down December. And he says, well, I could sign up for like the 50K or the 50 miler, but then I'd want to do them all at one time. So maybe I'll take like a Monday and run a 50K. I'm like, what? Stop
as long
it.
as you're doing it without me, right?
That is like, yeah, like that is defeats the purpose of our down December if you go run a 50K.
I guess. You're right. Probably.
Anyway, what else you got, guys?
I guess one that sticks out to me is the Moonlight 5K that we
fun.
did. It was the only in-person race we've done this year.
Oh, yeah.
It was a 5K. It was here in Maryland, up in Blair, Maryland. We saw some of our friends, Jen and Donna, up there, and it had been so long since we've been to like an in-person race. It was just fun to see, like, get out of your car and you hear the DJ. And they're playing the exact same songs that every DJ plays at every race.
Michael loves DJs.
Michael loves that.
You'll hear it later.
And then you go to the, you know, to the tent, you get your packet, and then you put on your bib, and then you take your selfies, and then you get to the start line, and then you line up. I don't know, whatever, right? It was the only in-person race we've done this entire year, so it kind of sticks out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, and it's better running with friends. So we had friends that we went up there with, and it was just a good time.
Yeah. My last one that stands out for me, I'd say, and I I always forget that this happened in 2020 because it feels like 8,000 years ago was the Hallucinations 24-hour race, the longest distance that I have run. I think I did 62 miles or somewhere around there, 65 miles. And that was in South Carolina, a 24-hour race. It was in February of this year. And Brittany and Laura and Jen Lowe and Anita and Michael all crewed me. And it was so much fun. Laura's from Maine, so she flew down to South Carolina to crew it. Anita's from Alabama, and Brittany's from Georgia, so they met each other and drove to South Carolina. And obviously Michael and I drove down, and Jen Lowe lives right around there. So they all came and they crewed it. They set up a little tent and laughed at me the whole time. It was great.
You were so loved.
It was like, I don't know, that really great feeling of like just having people who are there just to support you and watch you do something crazy. Like, none of them are ultra runners. I mean, Michael is an ultra runner, but the rest of them aren't ultra runners, but they wanted to see how this thing happened, and two, support me, like support something, a crazy goal that I had to run for as much as I could for that 24 hours. And I didn't make it to 24 hours. I made it to about hour 17 and a half. That was actually where I hurt my ankle and didn't realize how badly I had hurt it until like 2 days later. But yeah, it was just a really great time with friends.
Yeah, well, a couple of them ended up pacing you, right?
Yeah.
I was going to pace at the end in the middle of the night when it was going to get the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So actually on the last lap is when I went out.
Mm-hmm.
And weirdly, you stopped because you were getting sick. You had a cold.
Yeah.
And a chest cold. You were sick going into
That's
it.
right.
So it wasn't even the ankle why you stopped, even though your ankle was bothering you.
Yeah.
So when we went on that last one, I was like, you got to stop. I was like, this is it. This is the last lap.
That's right. Leading into that week, I had the worst chest congestion. And I was like, I've been training for this. This stinks. Like, I can't believe that I have been training to run for 24 hours. And I was hoping to get to mile 80. And I had the worst chest cold the week and a half leading into it. And it had kind of subsided a little bit going into it, but then just running and being out there for that long.
And it was pretty chilly.
It was
wet,
cold and it was raining.
Raw, yeah.
It was not great. And so everyone kept saying to me, like, play it smart. Like, you don't sound great. Because my voice was getting raw, like everything, like they could hear that I was starting to cough a lot more. And everyone's like, you're going to end up with pneumonia if you keep going. So maybe you should play it safe. It was
like a 2-mile loop or something.
Yeah. I don't remember how.
So we went on the last one, and then between hearing your cough and stuff and then the ankle on top of it, I was like, you got to pull the plug. So I was actually glad I was there to tell you to pull the plug, because I don't know if you would have at that moment or not.
I don't know.
I know what you're saying. Do runners not listen to their bodies?
It's weird. It's weird they don't, but yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, but while the race didn't go exactly how I envisioned it, it's still one of the highlights. I mean, it was it was probably the last real big event that I did, because then I got injured, and then I was out of running basically February, March, and obviously after March there was no races. So that was the last real race that I had done, and I got to experience it with some of my best friends, and it was really, really awesome to have people come in and show that they cared about me.
Well, and then I think that's a really good segue into when we get into what folks in our community, we asked for examples of their favorite memories or moments from this year. But if you think about it, would you have known any of those people without running?
No. Nope.
There you go. It's so crazy how this community is built off of relationships that you didn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a common theme where they came to help you because they know what that means to you, and they know the effort that you're putting into it. So even though they're just going to either crew or just be there to support you or whatever, like, that made them get on a plane. That made them drive over to be there for you.
Yeah.
Right. So that's probably the best part about running in general is the community that's built around it.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. So let's get into it. So before this episode recording, we asked members of the community what their favorite, looking back on 2020, what either their favorite memory or moment was, or what was the most memorable of 2020. And so we're basically going to go one by one and read a bunch of feedback from our listeners. So who's first?
I'm first, and I hope you guys don't make me cry. I did not read these beforehand, so please do not make them emotional. All right. Lisa B, her favorite memory from this year was running alone on Thanksgiving, missing the turkey trot and my dad, listening to good music. I did 5 miles. It was awesome.
Right. We had Kate who said that buying her double stroller and taking her boys out on her runs and walks with her.
Tiffany running a minimum of 5 miles a day from March 15th to June 28th.
Oh, wow.
Most of which were solo miles, was new. She typically runs with friends, but quarantine forced her to go solo. Listened to lots of audiobooks, which was also a new thing. And the streak continued after June 28th, but the heat of the summer had her throwing in some 3-mile runs in there. So to date, she has logged about 1,300 miles, which is her most miles in a year.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's awesome. So friend Sean started out strong running an actual in-person race until that wasn't a thing anymore. So, in January and February. And then since then, he's raced, in air quotes, a 5K or longer every month of 2020.
Awesome. And Dan F, he ran 100-miler around Howard County. I'm assuming that's Hoco.
That's Hoco.
Around Hoco.
Wow.
Jeez.
Not fancy, but fun.
100-miler.
And I'll just.
Oh, that's Goo.
That's Goo. That's
I
our
was
friend
like,
Goo.
Dan F. I'm like, that's Goo.
So just a quick note about that. That was right when, I guess, all the lockdowns started happening, and he wanted to do something to raise money for the Howard County food bank.
Oh,
and
okay.
so
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah.
he set up a pledge page, and before the run he had raised $6,000. After the run, he was up to about $11,000.
That is
Wow,
awesome.
that's amazing.
And so he ran for 20 hours straight. Started at like 6 p.m. on Friday till about 2 p.m. on Saturday. So
Nice.
I don't know. Yeah. He's
Nice.
amazing.
That's awesome. Megan said that her favorite moment was when she got engaged in Epcot. And her favorite running memory of the year was running in Disney for 12 hours with Mark, her fiance, and Greg, who is Greg from Orlando.
Yes.
Oh, yay. Congrats, Megan and Mark again.
So Robert, one of our local running crew here from the Pineland Striders, he's actually had a surprisingly fun year. Once all the races were canceled, he hooked up with a few buddies and went exploring new trails almost every weekend until summer. Shout out to Nicole, Jan, and Laura. He stopped running trails at the beginning of June when the flies started biting, sometime around his 64th birthday. And in order to train for his first road marathon in October, he met his BQ time, didn't really crush the goal, and he did crinkle up a bit. But he did hit the BQ time, which was good.
That's amazing. So Kyle, who's actually a producer on the Games We Grew Up With podcast, after a year of household recovering from an ACL and ankle surgery, he got out for a turkey trot 5K and did not walk any of it.
Nice.
So we
Nice,
got back
Kyle.
Good
again.
job,
Yep.
Kyle.
Look, I see that. A year of recovery from ACL and ankle surgery. I'm not doing it.
This would have been the year to do it.
Yes,
It would have been a good year to do it.
I just...
If only you
Just,
had
I mean,
known.
you've lived this long without an ACL. What do you need it for?
It's fine.
It's fine. Didn't
It's
have my
fine.
ankles all jacked up. Let's
It's fine.
move
If
on.
only you
It's
had known in January.
All right. Our friend Weck, he said his best memory was definitely inspired by the Will Run For podcast. Tom's decision to create his own event in the absence of other races. So him and his wife Angie got the ball rolling, and together they created a 6 and 12-mile race along the Fox River in Illinois with multiple digit participants, including one of our winners and even our very own swag. So that was very cool of them. Tom was wearing that shirt the other day.
Yes.
What did he call it?
Crazy like a fox.
Like a fox.
So cool. I love that.
Yeah. Steve says that he successfully ran 2 virtual half marathons, even if they were slogs. I mean, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? You're getting out there doing half marathons virtually.
And Greg, who we aforementioned, let's see, he's hopefully completing his first 50K, which, spoiler alert, he just completed, I don't know, a few hours ago, up in the Georgia mountains. So congratulations to Greg on his first trail 50K.
Whoop, whoop.
It's so awesome. Laura says she started the year off great with finishing her second dopey challenge.
Too bad we didn't know her then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Recovered from it so well. Discovered she doesn't need races to stay motivated to keep running, but she does miss them. She got an unexpected PR during a 5-miler, and she discovered the Will Run For podcast. And then she says, thanks for keeping me company and entertained on my long runs.
Oh, love that. This Phoenix run, which is Tanya, crossing the dopey challenge off my list in January, followed by finishing the 50K virtual in October, both with my dear friend and badass runner. I'm going to say that's Megan, but it's Beach Runner 78.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Actually, we met Tanya at the Dopey Challenge. We got to hang out with her a little bit. Hi, Tanya. Ryan runs Disney, which for some reason, anytime we reference Ryan, we always have to use his full Instagram handle because Ryan runs Disney.
Yeah, it's like Karate Chop.
He's the cutest.
He says, what an interesting question. This year did not go how he would have, or anyone would have expected, but his favorite memory moment was probably finishing his 4th dopey. And then his most proud moment was doing the virtual marathon, which was the New York City one he did in October. I don't really ever want to do one virtually again. I miss that in-person feeling, and I can't wait for them to come back. We feel that.
Yeah. Anna runs on coffee, who enjoys some of my commentary from time to time.
She's another one that you can't say without the whole Instagram handle.
Her best running move this year was buying a treadmill because it helped her still be able to run regardless of what time she would get home from work. And her favorite moment was running a real race in the fall when the infection rates had dropped. It felt so good to be at a live event again. I agree with that.
Yay.
Our good friend Matt Frumpa ran his first 5K with his nieces, ages 11 and 12.
I remember this.
New Year's Day on the Ocean City, New Jersey boardwalk. Though to quote them, I'm never doing that again.
Just like a runner.
Sounds about right.
Sounds like a future runner to me.
And then he also completed the Key West half marathon.
Well,
so
funny
good
story,
job, Matt.
Funny story about that Ocean City one. That was our first run of the year. We went to Ocean City, New Jersey to watch the fireworks at midnight, which they were some like tiny little fireworks. And we were going to run from midnight until I think 6 a.m.
Yeah, sunrise.
Yeah, until sunrise. That was like a training run for the
24-hour
hallucination race. So we met Frumpa and his nieces who were like, they're doing what?
And they just looked at us like, why would you do that?
So we were going to run up and down the boardwalk from midnight to 6 a.m. And I think we made it like you end up injuring something.
Yeah, I didn't. My leg didn't feel great. And we were so close
like
to the
3
race.
hours or something. Yeah, like 20 miles.
Speaking of memories,
like
I actually completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I just
Thanks,
remembered
Frumpa.
it. Yeah, because of Frumpa. So we introduced his nieces to stupid running.
Stupid running.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Like this year feels long, but it also feels very short. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen this year.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so weird.
Yeah, that's so weird.
It's so weird.
Amber said that my favorite running moment was starting running. It changed my life in so many ways I didn't know it could. My favorite memory was the feeling I got after running my first virtual 5K, coming home to find my medal arrived. I'm excited to continue running and see where the journey takes me in 2021.
Aw, new runner. We love
New
that.
runner. I love it.
That's the best.
Yeah,
That's
and I mean, it
absolutely
just
the best.
sounds like she just got bit by that little running bug.
Yeah.
So.
You know what you do? You go from 5K, then run one half, and then run a bunch of marathons.
Okay, don't listen to him. That's not what you do. Don't do
Or
that.
continue on your own journey. But I can't wait till you have an in-person race.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be amazing.
It's a whole different feel,
Yeah.
for sure.
Our friend Kathy says that she helped her friend train for Boston. It didn't happen, but she's grateful that she got to spend that time together. We even got to run part of the course with others that were training. Super fun.
Melissa, the community I've found through running has kept me going and sane this year. Thank you all.
Kelly, who's actually a friend of mine from a long time, like I grew up with her. She says, I don't have a particular best memory, but one blessing in 2020 is that it afforded me the time to mindfully start and keep up with my running again. I had lost that amid the hustle and bustle of life. Good job, Kelly.
Yay, Kelly. All right. And then Amy from the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. Oh, they're so funny. I love them. This is a tough one. She says, probably Dana filming me at our first live race since February, the Freedom 5K, and then laughing so hard with him when I placed second in my age group, which I'd never done. Side note, I only placed because there were just two of us in the age group.
That's all right. You're
Yeah,
still
it's
second.
okay. So much fun, though, to be at a live race after all that time. It was just a local race put on the Chamber of Commerce of Cape. Where do they live? Cape Coral?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're second in your age group and you were only two. You were still second in your age
You were
group.
still second.
That's right.
Amen.
Jen Hall, she finished the 2020 Dopey Challenge. She's finished it a bunch of times. Or participating in her first in-person race since the pandemic started.
Yeah, I feel like those in-person ones later in the year were making an impression on everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
For Lynn, Aaron's friend Lynn, who I've actually gotten to run with a few times. Best running memory of 2020 is having my daughters run her bike with me. When I went out for my daily runs back in spring, we were all home every day, so they were able to join me and get their daily dose of exercise and fresh air. So I'm thankful for that.
That's awesome. Jessica, Jessica G, says joining her dad on his first 5K, and this was his goal after 2 hip replacement.
Oh, that's awesome.
Surgeries. So that's awesome. And she posted a really cool picture on, I think, Facebook.
Yeah, I think it was on Team Shenanigans.
That's great.
Old page. Yeah, that was really awesome.
All right. Donna Quackenbush from the Run Ohana podcast says she has 2. My last official actual race was the Princess at Disney. It was the 10th year. My daughter and I had run it, and we brought the whole family for the 5K. I love that.
That's
and they actually
awesome.
talked about that on Run Ohana. It was great. They had a blast. Then once COVID, I would say that it was the Yeti Ultra that she did, quote unquote, with Aaron and Michael. It was challenging, but also rewarding and fun.
Yeah.
That was a blast. I'm glad we kind of coordinated that to go together.
Yeah, we got a bunch of pictures, like virtual pictures where we did virtual high fives and we dressed the same, Donna and I. It was really fun. Christina says marathon weekend and running with friends and enjoying our vacations together.
Mm-hmm.
Christina, we missed that.
Yep. And last but definitely not least, we have karate.
Last name Chop.
Yes, last name Chop. Hey, WRF crew. To be honest, the whole year has been a blur of weeks, turning into months with nothing changing except the seasons. Because of that, it's hard to point to a specific memorable moment. I think when I look back at this period, someday I'll be thankful for the extra time I was able to spend on the local trails. Before the pandemic, trail runs were only possible on the weekends, but now I'm enjoying that beauty and solitude whenever I want. It's been good for the soul and given me a place to process grief, vent anger, and celebrate simply being alive. Thanks for bringing a little light to the running community this year, and here's to a better 2021. So,
cheers.
Sean ending it wonderfully, and just wanted to let him know I love him. He is an amazing human, and thank you for the email.
I'm sorry, what did you just say? Sean? Who's Sean?
Karate last name Chop is Sean.
Cheers.
I miss seeing him this year, and our crew that we have usually gets together once a year, and
their guys trip.
It's very macho.
Very
A lot of macho stuff happens.
Oh my God.
As you can imagine.
Stop it.
It's just all push-ups.
Karate hangs from a bar, and then we just do push-ups and sit-ups.
Oh gosh.
And stuff like that.
Guys, we love you. Thank you so much for all of that, and for being a big part of our year, being one of the best parts of our year.
Yeah, I think for me it was the best part of the year is this running community. So thanks, guys. You keep me motivated, and I need that, obviously.
We love you.
Oh man.
Yeah,
here's
we love
to
you guys.
more stupid adventures in the next year.
Oh God, running is so dumb.
I used to hashtag all the time. Running is stupid.
Man. All right, everyone. We had a few late entries for our favorite moment of running moment of 2020. So here we go.
We had my friend Sarah who wrote in and said that her favorite running memory of the year was getting up to the boardwalk for her virtual Broad Street run, and she literally ran into my friend Lynn. So she was so happy to see her, and Lynn ended up running most of that run with her. We had We'll Run for Tacos, another one where we have to use her whole Instagram handle every time we talk about her. Olan, who said that she thinks the best part of the year was getting to meet us in person at Run the Lakes. We loved that. That was so much fun. And then we had Vanessa, who is the owner of Beast Pacing and the Batona Trail series that we talk about all the time. She said that she has too many to name, but running the Rim to Rim to Rim adventure that she did was one of them, and adventuring through New Hampshire and Maine this summer with John, Swan Runs Far, are pretty high on the list, and then running Vol State 500K. Can you imagine running 500K?
No.
500K across Tennessee with her friend Michael.
That's a big memory. We actually saw Vanessa and John today. We ran Christmas in the Pines 4-mile trail race.
Yep.
Which was a good time. It was a little no snow down there, but a little flurries during the run, and we had a good time.
It was fun.
Yep.
So we thank you all for writing in. We're glad that we were able to fit a couple more in.
Oh, and a shout out to Karate, who decided to just run the Boston Marathon course one day.
Just literally woke up and was like, hey, I feel like running Boston.
So, yeah, he went and ran the Boston Marathon. He lives on the course and busted out a pretty quick time. So thanks, everybody.
Yes.
Back to the show. All right. So we have a little special thing coming up here.
A special thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we all know, I am a lover of all holidays. I am probably the biggest holiday lover in this episode.
He is so lying.
I do want to say, Diana mentioned the last episode. What was it? Happiest Season?
Happiest Season.
Amazing. Instant holiday classic.
Isn't the sister hysterical?
It's a comedy,
amazing.
And he loved it.
I loved it.
I mean, he
Kristen
laughed
Stewart was
through...
amazing in it. And just everybody was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Levy.
Oh my God.
So great.
Oh my God.
I loved him. Every single thing he said. And then when he walks up to like the
do you pump?
Yes.
It's amazing.
So
I almost died. I swear to God.
Oh God. And he's pretending to be straight. It's so good.
Just everybody was so good in it. Everybody was just good. It was just so wonderful.
Yes,
what a wonderful thing to watch. Just watch that, everyone. It was great.
Yes.
You don't even have to watch it at Christmas. It's just fantastic.
It's just good. Like when it was over, I wanted to watch it immediately again.
Yeah, it's so good. Just so good. But since I am Mr. Holiday and Mr. Cheer and Mr. Lover of all things happy and wonderful, we're gonna do this 12 sites of race day. I forget who came up with the idea originally. Who was
I think it was Diana.
That's it.
I'm
a creative.
It was in the. It just appeared in the brainstorming notes, so it wasn't me.
A little behind the scenes, it wasn't going so well before the recording today when we were all in miserable moods trying to figure out what to do. But you know what? I think it came together in the end.
Oh gosh, we'll find out.
Yeah.
So
All right.
how are we gonna do this?
I
Our
think-
12 sites of race day.
We should probably read them in order, and then Tom's going to sing them backwards. Is that what it is?
Yes. So we're going to
Yes.
read them from 1
to
to 12. And then in the end, we're going to get our very own Thomas to sing for us. And it's going to be amazing.
In
And
this-
I
yeah.
have been waiting
Yeah.
all day for this. And I'm so excited.
Oh.
So it's the 12 sites of race day. What did my eyes just see? 1 and your almost there sign. Because you always see an almost there sign. And they're usually at mile 1 of a 13.1 race.
Yeah.
They're like mile like
Little do they know that's how I actually
2.
think in a race.
Oh, God. Stop it. Anyway.
just miserable and you just want to scream at them.
Actually, my best memory of that is at Ocean City Half Marathon in New Jersey. There was a woman at mile 0.5 who yelled, "You're almost there." And someone yells, "That's how you get punched in the face."
I mean, it was New Jersey, you know.
It would just, all the runners just start dying laughing.
I love that.
Anyway.
Yep. 2 nipples bleeding.
I feel like you always see that race day.
You
There's
always see
gonna
that
be
race
someone.
day.
Yeah. Anything over, I would say like 10K or more, you're probably going to see that. Most likely
Oh,
half
yeah.
or more. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. My
Yeah.
favorite was when we were recording our episode about race gear and we were talking about lubing up the nipples.
Oh,
like
God.
that day, our friend Ryan had bloody nipples when he was running.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was so good.
I believe I said the worst I ever saw was at the City of Oaks Marathon in Raleigh, where the guy had blood running down his entire shirt
Oh,
to
gosh.
to the bottom of the shirt from his nipples. It was like, I believe, what was it, stigmata nipples? I
Yeah,
called them. Yeah.
Stigmata nipples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just take off your shirt at that point?
It was warm out. He should have just taken off his shirt. I was like in pain looking at him. So, oh, I'm number 3. All right. No, I know nobody agrees with this. And since I'm Mr. Happy Holiday Cheer, it's 3 annoying DJs. Because I feel like anytime, for me, I am a quiet runner. So when I pass these DJ booths with music blaring, I basically want to pull them off of the stage and kick them in the face.
So he doesn't want to do New York City Marathon and
No.
he doesn't want to do a rock and roll
No,
race.
God, dear God, no. I like when they used to have that one DJ before you entered Wide World of Sports at Disney. That was hell.
Oh, gosh.
That was pure hell.
Like literally everyone else.
Everyone else is like,
fun.
"Oonce, oonce."
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, dear God, would you die?
Moving on from from that positivity. What's next?
This is me and 4 lubers lubing. I'm sorry, 4 lubing lubers.
That's for you, squirrels, not butter.
Yeah, well, that'll stop you from getting the bloody nipples.
That's true.
And many other chafing
That's true.
incidents. But so
Now, the worst also is when you're actually on a race and you need to apply. Because I know I think this was the marathon during Dopey. I started to my bra started to chafe. So I know I stopped at one of the aid station and just grabbed a handful of Vaseline and just shoved it down my shirt.
I love that when they stand there and hold out the sticks of
Yeah,
everyone
it's
is just rubbing themselves on
Yeah.
race course at the aid station.
Oh, gosh.
I've seen somebody eat it
Oh.
accidentally.
like,
Yeah, I actually have seen that as well.
that is awful.
And then they're oh god.
When it rains, when it rained at Marine Corps, they had all the people stand what you're talking about with the sticks of Vaseline and everyone. But then everyone's hands are all touching. It's
oh, did we ever talk?
pre-COVID.
Oh yeah, people
Just
did
thinking
everything,
about
yeah.
what we did before as runners
Yeah.
is kind of gross.
We never told that Marine Corps story, did we?
I don't know.
I'll tell it now. We'll save it.
I'm not even sure which Marine Corps story you talk about.
It-
Anyway, moving on though. We'll
involve-
tell it one day. Oh, I'm next. 5 shining blings.
So medals.
Medals.
Yeah,
Medals.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's all Tom runs for. He gets irrationally angry when there's not a medal.
Loves a medal.
Ridiculous.
God, imagine finishing a race without a medal
We have finished
know.
races without medals.
all the time. actually.
Labor
Yeah.
Pains didn't have
Yeah.
a medal.
That's true. That's a good point.
Anyway.
6 friends in matching tank tops.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep,
Definitely
always.
see
It's
that.
usually
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, always.
I'm usually part of that group.
Yep.
I love a matching tank top. I love a matching t-shirt.
Gosh, for running the lakes, I like matching tank tops so much that for running the lakes, I wanted matching shirts.
It's the best. I love it.
Anyway.
And then to go with that, I had 7 skirts of sparkling for the sparkle skirt wearers.
Mm.
There's always a bunch of them in the race.
8 left lane walkers.
Yeah.
And they're usually just walking across, making it impossible for anybody to get around.
Do they stick their hand up in the air to let them know that you're walking?
No, not those people.
Not the people all the way to the left. No.
Not the people on the left. Not the walkers on the left.
We love our walkers. Trust us.
Oh, yeah.
But
No,
just
we
put your
all-
hand
I'm a
up.
walker.
Just put your hand up.
Yeah, we all walk.
Just
I mean,
put your hand
yeah. I mean, we're
I'm
not
an
like,
intervaler.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I walk a lot, but I stay on the right and I put my hand in the air and I look behind me before I stop.
I do that as well. Yeah. If I'm going to slow down,
Yes.
I kind of make sure I have an area where
I
can
don't
it,
always
yeah.
do that.
Well, unless it's an emergency. Yeah.
I'm the worst. I'm not going to lie. There are moments that, especially if I'm drinking on course or I'm doing something with friends, I just am the worst. I'm not going to lie because I'm not an intervaler, so I don't think about it the same way. And so sometimes I just forget my manners.
The
I'm
worst.
sorry, people. I'm the worst.
worst.
And here's the example of when I forget. 9 fluffy puppers.
Yeah.
Because if there's puppies on the course and I see it and it's across the way or like flying pig when there was that pig across the way and we
I-
Pig was
all
dangerous.
I take full credit for that because there was like 20 of us on the right side. That pig was on the left side, and I'm like, "Is that a pig?" And then all 20 of us make a sharp left in front of everyone. Just
It was
It's
actually
true.
dangerous.
we did not care who we cut off.
It was dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, where's somebody's negative story from
Yes,
that race?
probably.
Somebody tells that story.
Yep.
So 9
the
fluffy puppers or a pig, either way.
Oh, I'm next. 10 knees in KT tape.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
In fancy designs.
It's always that. And there's always like, I get it. People need it. People use it. I think that's great. Some people, it literally looks like it's holding their leg on.
Yes.
I'm like, at this point, what are you doing even out here if you need that much KT tape? Like, to make it through this. Like, I get it because I've used it before. But like,
Yeah.
it's like basically wrapped around holding your limb together.
Oh boy.
And I have 11 goos gushing. So, like, you know how people drop their goos or their whatever ones they use, whatever energy gel you use, and then you end up stepping on it and it's just like
It's the best. It's the best.
Especially around water stations.
oh my god, I've been
Oh,
through
yeah.
some really slippery water stations.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah.
So dangerous. Oh
Now,
my
I
gosh.
finally started realizing that I needed to carry like a Ziploc bag with me.
That's what I
Yeah.
do.
because I won't always use it all, and then I would
Yeah.
just shove it back in like my little
Pouch and then the
my
goose
little
everywhere.
pouch, and it would just be
Yeah.
everywhere. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I carry a Ziploc for. Yeah, because if you put it in your pocket, even if you've eaten most of the goo, it leaks out into your pocket
Yeah.
what's left.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And then to round out the list, I have 12 Dixie cups of beer. So I fun run most of my races.
Mm-hmm.
I do. And there's always beer, and
Yes.
definitely pre-COVID, it didn't matter who was giving it out. We
Yep.
would just take it. I don't know if that's going to change moving forward.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
We would
I just-
literally take anything out of anyone's hand and be like, "That's fine."
Yeah.
I feel like that's not going to change for
Yeah.
me.
It's funny how much we just never thought about any of that stuff. And I'm not saying that afterwards I'm going to stop. I don't know, but we'll see. Just never
And you
thought
know-
about it before.
You know what keeps your immune system up? Running a marathon.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
So it's
yeah.
best to just
For
shove
sure.
whatever into your
It's
body.
true.
at that
You're not
We're all
breaking
on
down anything at that point.
Oh my gosh. Marathon weekend. I think every single Disney marathon weekend, I come back with a huge cold.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I came home so sick, miserable.
Yeah. So, Tom,
You
it's
ready for this?
now
Yeah, it's
time.
All right. I'm going to try to nail it on one take. Me. All right, this is the 12 Sights of Race Day by the Will Run For podcast. Oh, the 12 sights of race day, what did my eyes just see? 12 Dixie cups of beer, 11 Gouza gushing, 10 knees and KT tape, 9 fluffy puppers, 8 left lane walkers, 7 skirts of sparkling, 6 matching tank tops, 5 shining blings, 4 lubing lubers, 3 annoying DJs, 2 nipples bleeding, and a "you're almost there" sign that's lying.
Nice. So good.
That was amazing.
That actually worked out
good.
pretty well.
That was first take, guys.
So good.
Man.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Can we make that an MP3? That needs to be 99 cents on iTunes.
Oh my God. That was so good.
Oh, I loved it. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody.
Yes.
That was our gift to you.
Yes. We're ending the year. There we go.
Ending the year. You're welcome. I did have Christmas trivia that we could have done, but this is better.
This is way better. I love getting to make Tom sing. It was great.
All right. So, to kind of wrap up our final episode of 2020, let's talk about something good. Who wants to share?
I guess I'll start since it's non-Christmas related. It's music related. We've been up in North Jersey a lot, and there's this amazing band called Titus Andronicus. And this is
like the Shakespeare play?
Yes. And this is the 10-year anniversary of their album, The Monitor. And there's a song called A More Perfect Union, which is, to me, should be the state song of New Jersey.
He did play it for me right before. It is pretty anthemy for New Jersey.
Yeah. It's just fantastic. It pumps me up whenever I'm on the Parkway, Garden State Parkway, it immediately pops in my head. Or whenever I see a sign for Mawa, it pops in my head. I love Titus Andronicus. They've got a bunch of albums. Check them out. They're a small band, but they're a pretty kick-ass rock and roll band.
I thought that you were going to talk about Titus Andromedon from The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
No, I've never seen that. Actually.
And I got really excited, and I was like, "That's off brand for Michael."
Oh my God!
And then what you just said was exactly on brand.
I will say though that you're not a huge music guy.
No, I am.
I'm very. You are okay.
Oh yeah.
You're just not the big Dave Matthews fan that we all are, I think, collectively. But now I have to check out this band. I'm very excited to check this band out.
They're rocking.
Yeah, he's a huge. Your next. Speaking of music, go on, Tom. Because he's a huge fan of this one too.
Let's keep up the music theme. So last weekend, Diane and I drove up to Hershey to see the lights, and when we were coming back, she started playing Lana Del Rey and her album Norman Effing Rockwell from beginning to end. And I was partially paying attention, but like the first song came on and I was just listening to the lyrics, and the lyrics are really good.
Oh, she's so good.
And she's fantastic. And I knew of her. I knew some of her music, but I didn't know her like that. And I was just, it's one of those things where you hear something and then you're in on every single song.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I feel like it's overkill to say like captivated, but I was like, I can't download this album and listen to it ad nauseum quick enough.
Yeah.
So I love it when someone puts me onto an artist like that, and then I just, I go all in. So Lana Del Rey, Norman Effing Rockwell, everyone should check it out.
I actually think we listened to that whole album on our way down to Shamrock.
Probably. It was when it first came out.
Yeah, because that was when that
came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
Or no, we listened to a different one, but we've listened to this one. But yeah, the one prior to that, which I forget the name of exactly.
Oh, then this one we listened to this whole album. Maybe it was going down to Florida?
Might have been.
Or not Florida.
Labor Pains, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah, I'm not sure. Either way, we listened to this whole album as well.
Yeah, I'm a big simp for Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, he's just not a Dave Matthews fan. He loves music.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
But Dave Matthews is fine. I would
Next summer when we're all at the Dave concert and
with our cargo shorts
or on each other's shoulders, it'll be fine.
Do I have to wear like jorts or cargo jorts? Cargo jorts.
Yes,
Definitely
cargo.
cargo shorts and then flip flops, most likely with socks.
Can I wear?
I don't think the jorts crowd is.
That's not a jorts. That's a cargo shorts crowd.
Okay.
That's definitely a cargo shorts crowd. Trust me.
Tie-dye?
Or like the chubbies, like lots of tie dye.
Okay.
But then the chubby shorts that are like kind of short on men. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Chubby's brand.
Oh gosh. Wow.
Can I wear New Balance?
All right. We're tangenting.
Yes, you
We
can.
are tangenting so far away.
All right. Aaron,
So
what you got?
going back to the holiday season, we watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas last night, which is one of my favorites. It's the Muppets. It's a Muppet themed, or it's otters and foxes, and it's just a feel good one. Kermit introduces it and ends it, but it's really about a mother and a son who are just thinking about each other. They want to be able to give a gift to each other, and it's their story of how they both enter a contest to do that. And Emmett creates a jug band, and it's just amazing. It's a feel good, warm musical movie.
Well, yeah,
with
and
Muppets.
it's got incredible songs like the bathing suit that Grandma Otter wore.
Yes. Thank you for knowing what movie this is, because I put a survey out on Instagram last night and 67 people viewed my story and 23 responded that they did not know what movie I was talking about.
Ridiculous. We saw it in the theater. They actually did like a limited release in the theater, I guess, last Christmas.
I forgot.
So we saw that. And then Tom, we went to go do like Christmas trivia last year, and that was one of the options for our team name, but I think our team name ended up being like the River Bottom Nightmare Band was our team name.
Yeah, that's great. They were one of my hints, because that was like I put the Kermit up there, then I put them up there, and then I put the mom and Emmett on there, and no one knew it. Well, not no one.
Good.
I got some people who do it, but I was surprised how many people did not.
Oh, so freaking
So if you haven't watched it or heard of it, make sure you go seek it out. It's on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a really cool album called The Green Album, which is a bunch of popular artists covering Muppet song.
Oh.
So like Alkaline Trio does a song, but the song from, I think it's My Morning Jacket does one of the songs from Emmett Otter.
Amazing.
Okay, that's awesome. We'll have to check that out.
They do like the main song that like the mom sings with the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, that could be my something good. But my something good is actually Klaus on Netflix. It came out last year, but it just popped up as my recommended, and I was like, I need to watch that again. So that's my something good for this week. It's incredible, really underrated. It's an animated made for Netflix film, but the animation's gorgeous. The story's great. Great voice acting. So yeah, if you haven't watched Klaus yet, check it out.
All right. I will.
Good recommendation. All right, guys. Well, this is it
Aw.
for 2020.
Deuces 2020.
We are taking a break. We will see you in the new year. We may be posting on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try and
still
keep
be
up
doing
with
that,
it.
all that stuff. So, you know,
We'll see. You get what you get and you don't get upset.
there you go. But I think for all of us, we wanted to thank anybody that has listened or interacted with us throughout the year. It's really gotten all of us through this year. And we are definitely looking forward to 2021 with rose-tinted glasses, I would say.
Yes. It's going to be a fabulous year.
I agree.
And to be honest, I have very little motivation right now because, you know, it gets dark at 4:30.
Yeah, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. Yeah.
So the offer still stands. If you leave us a review with 5 stars and a
Yes.
comment, I will absolutely run 5 miles, and I'll even up the ante. If you leave a 5-star review with comment, I'll run a 10K.
Ooh.
Which is not that much more. So, but yeah, thank you everyone very much for all of us. We really, really appreciate everyone. Anything else?
I I don't think so.
Thank everybody for listening this year. And,
Yeah. I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, love you guys.
we'll
Happy
have
holidays.
We're going to have episodes in between. Just we're not going to be recording in between.
Yeah.
You'll still hear from us. You don't have to miss us that much.
We have the Irritable Bowels podcast.
Oh, gosh.
There it is. Ending on a high note. All right.
That's my job.
So, as always, for Aaron, Michael, and Diana, this is Tom, and we will see you later.
Bye, everyone.